Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, a lot of people may agree with the headline, but for different reasons. We've all had those situations in life before when something happens. Everybody agrees that that thing happened, but the reason why it happened varies sharply from individual to individual. So that sets the tone. As guys, I bring you this: Biafra government, a theater of the absurd, a headline attributed to the federal government of Nigeria. So the Malam Buhari regime are now going after the Biafra narrative frontally, so they're not confronting it. But which elements of the Biafra narrative are they confronting, and in which manner is the question? So that explains the preamble that leads up. The headline again: Biafra government, a theater of the absurd, a headline attributed to the federal government of Nigeria. So now let's now see now what the Buhari government is saying to Nnamdi Kanu and his co-travelers. The federal government has described the reported formation of Biafra customary government by Asari Dokubo as a theater of the absurd by a joker seeking attention. Speaking with News Agency of Nigeria on the development in Lagos on Monday, the Minister of Information and Culture Alhaji Lai Mohammed said the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration will not be distracted by the absurdity. I am sure you have heard of the theater of the absurd. That is the best way I can describe it. If Asari Dokubo wants to form and run a phantom government, I think he is free to do so. This administration will not be distracted because we still have a lot to do. We're not ready to give any attention or time to a joker like Dokubo who is just looking for attention. We will just take it as one of these entertainment things. The beauty about Nigeria is that it is never a dull country. You must have one thing or the other to entertain you, he said. Dokubo, leader of the Niger Delta People's Salvation Force, reportedly announced himself as the leader of the new Biafra customary government. The phantom government was announced with the names of some leaders by one Uche Mefo, who claimed to be its head of information and communication. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the ridiculousness of it, and it is quite ridiculous. So the ridiculousness is not just limited to Lai Mohammed, who we all know already is a grade A ridiculous person. Anyway, this is a person as ridiculous gets. But then of course the ridiculousness also extends to Asari Dokubo, who is an A plus joker and comedian, just a completely utterly ridiculous person. And it is theater of the absurd, but one of the main protagonists, of course, one of the main characters, one of the main actors is none other than he himself, Lai Mohammed, as he has been redubbed by the Nigerian people. So let's just take a second headline on this particular matter, because they say they don't want to give attention to him, but you can't pick up a newspaper without hearing them speaking on this new government now that Asari Dokubo purportedly has formed, according to him, and himself, by the way. I think that government runs within the parameters of his 4-bedroom apartment, wherever he is somewhere. But we take a second headline: Biafra government, the joker is seeking attention. A federal government knocks Asari Dokubo. So let's see if this says anything differently from what we have heard already. I think it's just a recap of that first headline that we just saw. So let's just see now where this joker declared his own government. So we take a third headline now: Asari Dokubo, ex-militant leader, dares Buhari, proclaims Biafra government. So let me just pause there for a moment, by the way, because I don't fully understand how somebody like Asarido Kubo will be declaring a Biafra Republic, because my understanding was that the Niger Delta region is a completely separate entity from the Igbo region. So Biafra, of course, is Igbo. Everybody knows that. And Asarido Kubo, by my understanding, especially being the leader of the Niger Delta Niger Delta militants, being the leader of that organization, my understanding is that his weight and his constituency is in the south-south, not the southeast, and Biafra, of course, it's the southeast. So this might well be this guy just poking at Nnamdi Kanu, looking for a reaction. But nevertheless, we take that headline again and just see exactly how this has been described. As Asarido Kubo, ex-militant leader, DS Buhari, proclaims Biafra government. So now let's now see how that proclamation took place. A former militant leader, Asarido Kubo, has dared President Muhammadu Buhari by proclaiming a Biafran government. In a statement on Sunday, Dokubo declared himself as the leader of the new Biafra de facto customary government, BCG. In a statement which won Uche Mefo, and by the way, I paused there for a moment. I thought Uche Mefo was one of Nnamdi Kanu's lieutenants, so it looks as though he has decamped now to go and form a breakaway new understanding with whatever his name is, Asarido Kubo. So we take that paragraph from the top again. In the statement which won Uche Mefo, BCG's head of information and communications, signed on his behalf, the former militant leader named those who would serve as leaders of the BCG. He said, "We as people have resolved that as Biafra, it is time for us to take our destiny in our hands and bring freedom to ourselves and our children and the generations of Biafrans yet unborn." I hesitate a little, but I thank God that it's time for us to do our duty and our service to motherland. I have accepted this role. I have dedicated my life 100% to play this role. My first act today in taking this position is to name those who would be on the driver's seat to navigate through this period of tempest, this period of uncertainty with me. I want to call on our brother George Onyibe to come on board to join as the secretary of the de facto customary government of the state of Biafra. He will take care of the administrative, day-to-day administration of the Biafra state. I also call on our brother Emeka Esiri or Isiri, Emeka Isiri, to take care of the legal needs of this nascent government. My brothers and sisters, the four of us will kickstart the process. Others will come on board. We want volunteers who are committed. We want volunteers because there is nothing anymore. We are the people who have volunteered to salvage ourselves and the rest of us. I also call on Biafrans in various provinces of the Biafra nation in Aba, Abakaliki, Anang, Akwa, Calabar, Degema, Eket, Enough. I didn't know there was a place called Enough. Enough. So Enough. Anyway, it goes on and on. I don't want to... Let me just see if there's anything... okay, let's take it from this paragraph. Condemning the blockade of food transportation to the south from the north some weeks back, Dokubo said education and agriculture are key areas of focus for BCG. You are all aware of the recent plot where they decided to stop food from the north. They failed woefully. They will continue to fail. The government of Biafra states will look to make sure that we only eat what we produce. Nobody can stop us. Nobody can blockade us as they did in the first war. We are not going to fight any war with anybody. We are walking to freedom. We will not shoot one gun with them. They will prepare their weapons, but they will have nobody to kill with their weapons. He added, the presidency is yet, well, the presidency has since reacted. So it rounds off to say that the presidency is yet to react. But then, of course, we read the reaction of the presidency first. So Comedy Central is effectively, you see now why I started with that preamble now. So we have this Biafra situation now, this Biafra aspiration, this yearning, this aspiring to the whatever it is, whatever adjective you choose to describe, but you have certainly this Biafra movement that is taking fervent hold of the especially Igbo people. So a lot of them have bought into it. That's not to say every Igbo person is a Biafran. You'll be surprised that the numbers are not as big as you would imagine, but their numbers are huge. They're a large movement which cannot be ignored. But the arrowhead of that movement has always been Nnamdi Kanu. Now, Nnamdi Kanu, again, the preamble that I started with, that situation with different angles. So Nnamdi Kanu personifies that in some sense as well. Because if you speak to an adherent of that movement, of the Biafra movement, they deify this guy almost to the point of actual worship. I would not be surprised if a lot of them have shrines to his name in their rooms, to the point that they sing holy, holy, holy Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. This is how seriously, and they don't sing that song in jest, by the way. If you listen to them sing that song, it is heartfelt and from the very core of their being. So it has that mass following, but the generality of the Igbo people, you cannot say that the generality of the Igbo people are with the Biafra movement, because there are several strands of opinions of thought within the Igbo collective. So there is that, but to the Kanu situation is an enigmatic sort of fella, is an enigma when you look at him, because like I said, his adherents, they take him almost like a godlike figure to them, but to the people who look at him from the outside, and I'm not speaking about the Nigerian government at the moment. The Nigerian government sees him as a concern and something that needs to be caged before it gets currency, but unfortunately for them, it already has massive currency now. So I'm not talking about the Nigerian government, and I'm not talking about the adherents of the Biafra movement. I am talking about neutral parties looking in. So with neutral parties looking in, a lot of them have mixed opinion about Nnamdi Kanu. A lot of them buy into Nnamdi Kanu's narrative because the facts back up a lot of what Nnamdi Kanu has to say. The marginalization of the Igbos, the brutalization of the Igbos, the exploitation of Igbo land, effectively that whole region being held against their will at gunpoint, which is the bulk of what Nnamdi Kanu's argument is. A lot of people buy into that, but a lot of people also do not buy into the way he conducts himself and the way he makes his pronouncements. We've all heard it before, so I'm not going to recount all of it. Jubril at Sudani, Silicon Mask, Shallow Grave, what is it? Something in Cuba, car basement in Cuba. Where is Oshibajo? And just, just some fanciful, rather bizarre pronouncements that this guy makes. So for that, a lot of people dismiss him out of hand, but a lot of people will argue against that to say that it is actually deliberate, this approach that he's using, and it necessarily has to make this controversial pronouncements in order to heighten the tempo and keep the pressure on that situation. So Buhari is dead and is in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia. Jubril at Sudani is wearing a silicone mask, and then he's in a basement. Just the usual, you know him, and everybody is a fulefu. So it's quite a complex character, but then however you choose to see Nnamdi Kanu, the one thing no one can deny about him is that he has built a mass global movement. This is what he has done. He has built a mass global movement that nobody can ignore, because there are IPOB members in virtually every country of note on this planet. There's no refuting that. There are IPOBs everywhere, duly registered, paying their subscriptions and getting all the newsletters to keep them abreast of the goings on with that movement. So this is what he has built. So what this Asari Dokubo is now trying to do, like I said, we've already established that it's a Niger Deltan, so it's really nothing to do with Biafra. But what this Asari Dokubo is trying to do is to tap into the luster of that IPOB movement that Nnamdi Kanu has built, to get some financial gains out of it and to get some relevance out of it. Because believe you me, there's always a dollar sign at the end of every move that is made by the Nigerian person, because of course the average Nigerian person is criminal minded, and especially the actors in this particular play that is playing out now, they are all entirely criminal minded. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. The theater of the absurd is how the Malam Buhari regime is looking to flick their hand and dismiss the entirety of the IPOB movement offhand. But of course they are not being offhand with Nnamdi Kanu, but they can dismiss Asari Dokubo offhand. What are you making of it? What do you think the play is for Asari Dokubo? Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. But before you come into the comment section to engage, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. That is if you are listening on YouTube, and if you are listening on Facebook, then click on the follow button so you are part of the family and you are notified whenever I drop a video, because I am now uploading the videos to two platforms now. So click on the red subscribe button for YouTube, and click on the follow button for Facebook. And then with YouTube, click on the bell button as well, because that notifies you every time I drop a new video. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me in the comment section. Come tell me what you're making of this move now that has been made by the Niger Deltan guy, now turned Igbo, now vying and contending for leadership of the Biafra movement. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.